Hey, how you doing today? This is Dave here. So today's video is going to be about making some more jesses. Today we're going to do the paracord style jesses. Something similar to these here. Also, you can do this version of it here. So we're going to go through all that. Some of the products you're going to need, the tools you'll need for today is obviously your paracord. You need some scissors, a lighter, a ruler, some type of poking device. This is for from a sewing kit. You can use an X-Acto knife and a metal coat hanger. If it has the plastic liner on it, make sure you shave the plastic liner off. But that's your coat hanger. All right. Make sure you're working with sharp objects and you're working with fire and you're working with paracord. Not always a good combination, so make sure that you're being very careful not to burn yourself. Alright, so first step is you have to remember you need twice the length, always twice the length of the paracord that you want your jess to end up being. So if you want a 6-inch jess, you need to have a minimum of 12 inches of paracord to work with, so on and so forth. Now when you do the button at the top, that takes away some of the length as well. Not much, but it takes away some. Another thing you can use too is E6000. Some people buy E6000. I'm out of it right now. But they'll actually coat the button in E6000, or they'll coat the jess in E6000 to keep it stiffer and kind of waterproof it and stuff like that. I will tell you one of the downfalls, especially in Texas, anything with thorns, mesquite and stuff like that. I have seen a bird actually get temporarily stuck in a tree because a thorn had gotten stuck in the paracord. It snagged on the paracord, even with a straight field jess. It still happened. So I have seen it happen. I prefer paracord for muse, training, stuff like that. Anyway, so I want mine to be at least about a foot long. So my ruler here is slightly larger than a foot actually, but when measured off, 1, 2 feet, cut. Now I'm going to focus on building one, and I'll build the other one off camera to match it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'll make sure that I'm able to pull the paracord. That tip was melted right there, so I'll snip it off. Be able to pull the innards out, the guts out. This isn't true 550 cord for us military type. This is considered a civilian version of paracord. It's not quite as strong, realistically, than a 550 cord. This is real paracord. This is real 550 cord. If you're going to create this style of paracord without having a loop for your leash, go ahead and leave the guts inside. You can see it's thick. It's stronger that way, but you want to keep your paracord, you want to keep your innards inside. If you're creating this style, then you want your innards to be out. So what I like to do is I hate having frayed edges, so I'll take this little pokey device and I'll feed it into that end of the paracord, and then I'll take my lighter and I'll just run it along that edge, just to heat it up. Okay, pat it down a little bit. Careful, it's hot. Like I said, there you go. Same thing with this side. Realistically, with this side, I can go ahead and heat it. Wet your fingers, and then close it off, because you're gonna need one side closed off. Okay, so you have one side still open, one side closed off. Here's split in half. All right, so I find my middle between the paracord. And you have two options. My old school method used to be to take the X-Acto knife, and I used to make a small slice right there to feed the paracord through. But I have seen this new technique where people are doing, where they're actually just taking this nice little pokey device, and they are making a hole that way. And the reason being is because it allows you to get between the threads. There we go. It allows you to get between the threads and make a hole without actually, let's see if I can get this in there correctly. There we go. To make a hole without damaging the paracord. See that? Because with this version here, when you cut it, you have some fraying going on. Now, super glue can fix that. A lighter can fix that. So you want to slip that in there and you want to stretch it so it makes enough of a hole. I don't know if you can see that too well. Got a light going on from the door, but it made a hole there for me. So now what I'm going to do is on my closed side, I will take the X-Acto knife and I will make a small, tiny slice. Just a small one. And that is just so I can take this coat hanger and feed it into it. Now, when I feed it in and I press against it, what I want to do is take my lighter one more time to the tip, and I want to press down. You know, make sure it's rounded and not pointy and jagged in any manner, so it doesn't catch on the inside of the 550 cord, the paracord, and I'm trying to feed it through. So now I bring it back up to the hole I just created, and I slip it in. Now, it is harder. Do not pull on the paracord. It's like the Chinese finger cuffs. If you pull, you tighten the threads, and it's hard to pull through. So I go ahead from the top of the hanger, and I push, and I feed it down. So smooth. So smooth. So smooth. And then I'm allowing the feed. Look at that. So I bring it to the point to where they're slightly outside. There's the open end, that's the closed end. The hanger is off, pull the hanger out by grasping these two ends. So I hold those two ends one last time, and I feed the squeegee the ends. Apparently I squeegee a little bit too much because I actually pull the innards, or pull the cord all the way up in. Okay, that was a little bit of a mistake. I'm a little bit too far with it. Okay, so for future reference, when you have your X-Acto knife, I'd probably slip it into there, and then that way when you feed it down towards, squeegee it down towards it, you're not going to close it all the way off. And then that creates my loop at the bottom. So now I go back to the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feel, because it didn't come all the way up to the tip, so I feel where it's at, and I'm going to snip it. Okay, see how it's all frayed up right now? Even my tip that I already pre-melted to feed it through, I cut that off too. And I refray it. I want it nice and frayed. I'm gonna make a frayed knot. Alright, that's a dad joke. Alright, so I want it to be frayed. And the reason I want it to be frayed is because it just makes it that much easier when I do the melting for them to bond together, the inside and the outside. So I'm watching. Let all the should have proper ventilation too. I should have said that too, because this will stink. So I made sure the inside version and the outside, all melted together. If you want to, you can use your metal ruler. You can use something to flatten it. I like keeping it rounded. Now, you can also go ahead and measure. So coincidentally, I am close to probably 11 inches with this Jess. Okay. Once it's nice and cool, which it is, hopefully you can see how nicely that is melted. So now what I do is I bring it down to itself. Enough that I can do a double wrap. Once around. So you might have to adjust a little bit. Once around. Twice around. Then back up through the loop. And this is what you're going to play with here. I want to try to keep, and you're just going to manipulate this, because I'm going to try to keep the melted portion right at the top. So I'm going to tighten a little bit. There, I want to keep that right there at the edge. Okay. Now you can actually go ahead and put a rod through. Hold it like this. That allows you to pull that knot really, 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 really tight. Okay, you want to make sure everything is as snug as it can be. And now I can either leave it like that, or I could reheat this. Being very careful to just heat the spot that I already heated. Take my middle of my lighter and press it flat. And all it's doing is it's creating it to bond to your knot so it won't pull back through. Some people E6000 that knot, so it will never come undone. But trust me, that's not going to come undone. It can be cut, but it's about the extent of it. You can reshape it as you want. It's your world. Do as you like. And that is it, my friends. That's your nice looking field Jess. Or correction, new Jess. You can actually use it in a field too, because that's so small. The odds of a branch getting stuck in that is very slim, but it could happen. Just know that. So I'm going to create another one, and the key thing for making your next one is that before you make the knot, you want to make sure that it's the exact same length as this one. And then you want to make sure that as you're tightening the knot down, you're trying your best to make the knot the exact same way. That way, when a knot's completed, your Jess is going to be the same length. Really strong, really stiff, really clean looking. I highly recommend them. Remember, if I can do it, so can you.